I am counting on you to help your friend get some rest. It is best not to take any needless risks. I have seen enough young women lose a child to know that we can be sure of nothing until the child is born.
I understand. I will take care.
Thank you for your care, Maester Martin. Maester? What is that instrument you wear on your face?
They are Myrish lenses, my dear. They help correct my eyesight. The lens crafters of Myre are without equal in the world, from what I understand.
Impressive. Have you ever been there?
No, my child. Westeros is big enough for me. You would need more than an entire lifetime to discover all its riches.
But I certainly hope not. Otherwise, we won't get more books from this guy.
Earlier, I thought I saw a drawing of an egg in one of your books. A huge egg, like a dragon's egg. Did they ever really exist, Maester?
Oh, they existed, my girl. But they disappeared over 150 years ago.
Do you believe they could return one day?
I very much doubt it. Unfortunately, we do not live in a fantasy story.
You must know so much, being a Maester. Do you think the Seven exist? And if they exist, do you think they truly watch over us?
Everyone has to find their own answers to these questions, my child. For my part, I have never really been satisfied with the answers given to us by Septons. If the gods exist and love us, why would they allow people to rape, torture, and kill their families and friends? Why do we suffer? Why do we hunger and thirst? You understand that I myself can't give you the true answer. Everyone believes what they want to believe.
That is exactly his own position in real life. As a former Catholic, I think he is a former Catholic.
Be sure to look after yourself, young lady. I'm serious. Women with child who do not tread carefully can suffer complications.
Okay, and that's it. No more lore from the lore master. Hello, my lord!
Well, young lady, how did this happen? Are you any better?
Yes, Maester Martin made me drink a brew and the pains have disappeared. I must thank you. He told me that if I should rest and avoid any unnecessary effort, then everything should be well.
Magnificent. I'm so relieved. You may stay here as long as you please and relax at your leisure.
I thank you.
No, do not mention it. It is a real honor to receive you at Castlewood. Please, I beg of you, come sit with me at my table. Well now, you must be famished after all these misfortunes. Please, serve yourself.
Thank you for this dinner, Lord Halton.
Jane, my dear, there is something I must tell you. A very long time ago, I had the great honor of meeting with your father.
What? You know my father?
Your magnificent silver hair does not allow you to hide your origins, my lady. It compels us to admire that you are a direct and noble descendant of Valeria.
Tell me, could anything be more esteemed than massacring, raping, and burning people? Well, that's exactly what my father did to my mother, as well as so many others.
Holy shit! Holy shit! They drugged us!
Listen, can we save this conversation for later?
Mors, is everything all right?
Yes, I just need to rest.
It is true that King Eris had his demons, and it pains me to hear your tale, my lady. But, although I understand your resentment, the Targaryen dynasty reigned for 300 years. 300 years of peace and prosperity.
There were some conflicts around that time, no? If I remember rightly.
Events that were but a faint blemish in the golden age of House Targaryen. Jane, your father was unfortunately one of the last of the bloodline. Due to Robert's rebellion, it has all but disappeared. And what are we left with? A realm and people on its knees. Westeros does not deserve such a fate. The legitimate kings need to take back their throne.
And you think Jane is the heir you need?
You are aware that I am just one of Aerys's bastards, aren't you? I go by the name of Greystone, not Targaryen.
Do not worry yourself with such small matters, my dear. Your family is still revered by the people, and they would welcome back the return of the dragon with open arms. For common folk, the color of your hair is all it takes. All they really need is a symbol.
A symbol? Of a mad and massacred bloodline? A tribute to the Game of Thrones? I've been trying to lead a peaceful life for such a long time. And now you ask me to run headlong into a nest of snakes?
It is our duty to reinstate the natural order, Lady Jane, and to rid the throne of the usurper.
We are not here to discuss politics, Lord Harlton.
Take your fate into your own hands, Jane. If you join us, you'll live the life you've always dreamed of.
My child is not even born, and he is already a victim of your political games. You think that's the life I dream of?
You misunderstand. He will always be safe by our sides. We will give him the Iron Throne.
I would have nothing to do with the damned throne. I just want to forget all this and live my life in peace, far from politics of the realm.
And what of him? With or without our protection, your child will still be an heir to the throne. You realize that? His enemies will involve him in all this sooner or later. Is that what you wish for his future?
Have I not made it clear? I do not care one bit for matters of the crown, and I shall never enter into any of your schemes.
I see. So there is no way to make you see reason. Believe me, that upsets me. I had just one
Of course.
Do you remember that hunt where you met the usurper? Do you believe that was coincidence?
What are you suggesting?
The arrangement of that fell to us. The king was responding to an invitation from a friend. Not that long before, I had discovered your esteemed ancestry and realized that it was my duty to help you gain the throne. I made the necessary arrangements so you could quietly have your love affair with the usurper. It's thanks to this that your child has both the blood of the dragon and the stag.
Robert would never allow himself to be manipulated. He conquered the Seven
He's a fucking
Kingdoms.
idiot!
Unless he had enough to drink, that is. Which has a certain irony, when you think about it, since it is quite similar to what happened this evening with your friend.
I knew he'd rock me. Of course. He wouldn't let her decide her own future. She's an asset to be taken. Willingly, if possible, unwillingly, if necessary.
Bastard. You will feel my blade.
Guards, seize her!
Okay. So we are back on different sides of the equation. Let me see, is there there is no what? No archer, so let's fight this guy. I am drugged or something. Shit! That is becoming annoying, you know? Those changes in perspective. Where is the fucking dog? Not enough energy. Nothing I could do. Okay, so we're imprisoned once again.
That's good, Guts. I think he's ready now. Let me question him. Right, listen well. If you tell us what we want to know, we won't hurt you. However, if you anger me in any way, Guts will fetch his favorite tools. The last time he worked someone over, the poor lad was left a cripple and could drink through several holes. Well, for about 2 months he could. Until we killed him. And believe me, you don't want that happening to you. We'll start with an easy one. Who are you?
Mors Westford, sworn brother of the Night's Watch.
Ah, you're a clever one. That makes life easier. Next question. Who's the girl you're with?
Jane Greystone, descendant of Ares Targaryen II.
Oh, let's continue like this, my friend. You're sparing yourself needless suffering. What is your true mission?
Someone in power tried to attack Jane while she was hiding in the north, and made the mistake of sending their men up against the Night's Watch. I'm the man charged with making him pay for that mistake.
And the Lord Commander's letter that states you're a recruiter, what is it?
It allows me to go about matters in my own way.
Interesting. I think you speak the truth. And because you've not tried to be clever, we will leave you to rest. We still have a lot of questions to ask you. I'll be back tomorrow to continue our little discussion.
The pain is too much. It's impossible for me to get into the dog's mind.
Anyway, they seem determined to make you talk. As long as you have interesting things to tell them, they should keep you alive.
I have to hold on. I have to stay alive. For Jane.
I'd say he was awake. But he doesn't look good. Sleep well. I hope we're gonna get on as well as we did yesterday. But I have some doubts as to your sincerity. We found John Aaron's letter among your belongings. We know he sent you. The question is, why? Did he know of our brotherhood?
Aaron did not tell me anything of it. He simply asked me to protect the girl.
So, why are you traveling with her?
As I said to you yesterday, someone powerful tried to get to her without considering the consequences for the Sworn Brothers. If she had stayed there, the Night's Watch may have attracted further attacks. It was best that she came with me.
Very well. I believe you. But I am a little disappointed. Andrew assured us that you were a tough one to crack. It would seem he was mistaken. If you continue like that, Lord Alton will see that your help does not go unrewarded. Of that you can be sure. I shall go and tell him what you've told me. In the meantime, get some rest.
They keep trying, eh? You did well by giving them what they wanted.
I have to find a way to free myself.
You've no chance of escaping on your own. But if I could get out of here first, then I could untie you. I'll have to free myself while their attention is on you. It's our only chance.
I have one last card to play. My dog.
Come, Guts. Let's go back. You know what, Crow? Lord Alton wants to question you himself. If I were you, I'd be careful what I say from now on.
Thank you, Harris. This is between him and me now. What an unfortunate situation this is, my dear Mors Westford. It would seem that you have been very cooperative. That's good. Continue like that, and your life may be spared. Let's start at the beginning. How do you know John Arryn?
We met at the beginning of Robert's Rebellion, when Tywin Lannister sent me to reinforce the troops. We went through the war together, and we became friends. He was a great man.
Yes. I think we'll stop there. Apparently, what you told my men yesterday about your mission turned out to be true. I have every reason to believe John Arryn knew nothing of our Brotherhood's plans. As you have been very helpful to me, I shall be generous. You will die here, but you will not be made to suffer.
What? But I told you everything I know. You said you would spare my life.
I lied. Come now. You must understand. Letting you go would be far too dangerous for our Brotherhood.
You son of a whore.
Come. It's the Game of Thrones, my friend. And we all know that this game has its winners and losers. Get rid of him for me.
With Guts here, we've seen some tough ones who never give us anything. Let me tell you that you're not one of them. Just a piece of advice. Don't move. At least try to die with the dignity you lacked in life.
What? Wasn't it supposed to be that the pay in the end allow me to get into the head of my dog? That was the reason. I couldn't use the dog because they were inflicting pain. That's what he says. Therefore, not allowing them to. Whatever. And let's go with the opposite. Let's see, Mars present day. While Jane and I were searching the house to see what damage time and looters had caused, a group of armed men hiding in the woods attacked. They could not have been John's men. Their equipment was different. I was sure I hadn't left any alive at the wall. However, whoever they were, they numbered enough to have taken us. But the warrior, or perhaps the stranger, sent us an ally in the last moment. After barricading ourselves in the house, I used a brief lull to get some information out of him. I could not believe that he would risk his life out of mere generosity. This Sir Andrew had supposedly been sent by local Lord Halton of Castlewood to find us. According to him, the troops attacked the house were there on Baldar's orders. The ambitious brat seems to have come a long way in 15 years. That won't prevent me from celebrating our reunion with the edge of my blade. The men were gathering outside, and we had no choice but to try and escape. The screams of dying men mingled with the eternal ringing of steel on steel. Men, battles are all the same, north or south or anywhere else. The same held through here, even if it was the first time that my companions were completely unknown to me, including whatever reason they had to be spilling their blood by my side in the first place. When, when the opposing commander was killed, the remaining soldiers fled, leaving me alone with my new brothers. The leader was Sir Ethan, captain of Castlewood's guard. Like his own man Andrew, he said his lord had sent him and his men to help us, and he now offered us shelter in his castle. The so-called saviors truly seem to want to help us, but it's too much for me to be at ease with. I would have set out along with Jane had she been able to continue out her previous pace, but her pains continued along with the child she carried. She was no longer able to go on. I tried to learn more about the host by asking them about the camp, but Andrew and Ethan are shrewd men who only fed me the scraps of information they wanted me to know. Obviously, they did not mention whatever reason their master had to be so interested in Jane. Andrew had infiltrated Valar's ranks, spying on Harton's behalf. The last made me laugh when she finally admitted that Targaryen blood flowed through her veins, in case I hadn't noticed. She told me it in a hushed voice with terror in her doe eyes, as if her silver hair wasn't proof enough. She tried her best to sound strong, but it was clear that fear was eating her from the inside. Ethan took us directly to Arwood Harlton, the Lord of the Stronghold, the famous Lord Harlton. I immediately disliked his honeyed words and lordly ways. He knew too much about us than he ought, and his snake-like courtesies could hide the fact that he spoke not of why we were there. I wanted to leave as soon as Jane was fit to travel, but the child she was carrying had tried hard, tired her during the voyage, and she needed to rest. All I could do was watch over her. Arthur revealed his true face during dinner, an ardent supporter of the ancient Targaryen dynasty and a champion of manipulator, the breed of a man who would destroy anyone and anything who stood in the way of his twisted goals. Of course, it was Jane Targaryen's blood that interested him, especially that of her baby. His plan was perfectly laid out. He had arranged for Jane and the king to meet, anticipating that a child carrying both Targaryen and Baratheon blood would be the result, the ideal heir to the crown. Once the child was on the throne, Harton would obviously wield power through his puppet king. Jane met this with nothing but disgust and scorn. The horror on her face was all too clear to see, as she imagined her child being treated as nothing but a figurehead. Well, I don't see what's the problem with that. Manipulated by madmen from her even before he was conceived. But Harton didn't ask for her opinion. We all knew where this discussion was going, and suddenly the hall was filled with the sound of steel being unsheathed. Doesn't it always end this way? It was myself against an entire castle garrison. No Andrew or Ethan would appear by my side. When I fell to their blows, my last thought was how I would have been so stupid as to accept their offer of aid. When my senses returned, my surroundings were far less welcoming than the castle dinner. I was shackled and at the mercy of three Harton's torturers, men whose pleasure it would be to take all their troubles on me. Their goal was to make me reveal what I knew of Jane, but they seemed more intent on avenging the friends that I had or raising
the pain
to a
is
warrior.
Too much. It's impossible for me to get into the dog's mind.
There you go.
Anyway, they seem determined to make you talk. As long as you have interesting things to tell them, they should keep you alive.
I have to hold on. I have to stay alive. For Jane.
The question is, why? Did he know of our brotherhood?
If you fuck as well as you ask questions, I wouldn't be surprised if your wife whores around just for fun.
I must admit I find you most amusing. But my patience has its limits. Go on, Guts. Tear off a couple of his nails so he knows who he's dealing with.
Oi, nails. I enjoy that.
Fucking game. What do I say? Too much pain won't allow me
So,
to develop.
how was the first course? You will answer my questions, even if it means we have to tear your nails off one by one. Was John Aaron aware of our brotherhood? Yes or no?
Perhaps. What difference would it make to you if that were the case? And more importantly, how would it change things for me if I told you?
For us, nothing much. For you, on the other hand, that could spare you quite a lot of unpleasantness. We already know that John Aaron turned to others to protect the girl. We know that their leader was called the Mother Hen. Go on, stop trying to summon the will to stay defiant. What's holding you back? Are you afraid of betraying your friends? You should relax a little, you know. Both are dead. Telling us what you know will not earn you their wrath. I will ask you one last time. What did John Aaron know about our brotherhood?
He knew that you were planning something. He knew that you wanted the girl. The only thing he failed to do was catch you in the act. That's the reason they sent me. I'm the bait.
And who are they?
Did you really believe that Aaron was the only one interested in you? He may be dead, but others continue his mission.
I must go and speak with Lord Alden. Guts, take care of him. He needs to be punished for not telling us this sooner.
Am I free to do as I please?
Just make sure he has a very bad night, so he has a change of heart. But don't ruin him too much, understood? Come, we'll stop there. I'm starving. We'll continue tomorrow.
They keep trying, eh? I hope for your sake they tire of questioning you.
I have to find a way to free myself.
You've no chance of escaping on your own. But if I could get out of here first, then I could untie you. I'll have to free myself while their attention is on you. It's our only chance.
I have one last card to play. My dog.
Come, Guts. Let's go back. You know what, Crow? If I were you...
Thank you, Harris. This is between him and me. What? And my men. And according to them, you are now working on behalf of others who want to bring down our brotherhood. Let's start at the beginning. How do you know John Aaron?
We met on a battlefield during Robert's Rebellion. From then on, I worked for him under the command of the Mother Hen.
Is that so? In that case, I imagine you know the real name of the famous Mother Hen.
Get out of Rivia. It was him.
He was called Godric Donnelly.
Indeed. Let us continue. Yesterday, you told my men that people other than John Aaron were interested in us, and that you worked for them. Who are they?
Tomorrow, I'll tell you everything, in exchange for a full belly and a nice horn of ale. Right now, all I want is to be left to sleep.
So be it. If that should help you loosen your tongue, I'll be more accommodating. Anyway, I have urgent matters elsewhere that require my attention, so I must take my leave of the castle until tomorrow. So I shall grant you 1 day of respite.